The Toyota production system is widely studied by business schools and manufacturing plants. But what exactly is the Toyota production system, and how do customers benefit? When manufacturing using the Toyota production system, Toyota only builds what is ordered. This ensures overhead costs are in check, and it provides stable pricing for the customer. Equipment orders are slotted into the production schedule based on the production forecast and slot availability. This ensures a level workflow through the factory and is a process called Heijunka. Toyota holds many of its suppliers to the Heijunka process as well to maintain levelized material flow and just-in-time component delivery. On the assembly line, parts and components are delivered directly to the associates. Toyota forklifts, tow tractors, and AGVs are used to deliver parts to the line, following the assembly sequence, which is dictated by the daily production schedule. The just-in-time principle is critical because it allows associates to receive the right parts the moment they're needed, in the exact location they're needed, for the specific forklift they're assembling at that time. Assembly associates focus on standardization and specialization, which allows them to work on many different lines and produce many different products.
The Toyota production system guarantees product quality by making each person in every process in our facility a quality inspector. So rather than having inspection at the final process to make sure the product is good and to our standards, we rely on each associate to be an inspector. So therefore we have 900 inspectors on the shop floor that are trying to make sure that good quality is built into the product.
In order to continuously improve the production quality and safety in the supply chain, regular meetings are held on the shop floor, and the TPS culture requires a consistent presence of managers and other leaders in and around the assembly lines. To take consistent quality a step further, associates perform quality checks on every component they touch before sending their work down the line. They mark each component using a colored marker, and if you look closely at any Toyota forklift, you'll see multiple marker dots on internal components. This indicates the component has passed through various quality checkpoints before reaching the customer. When the forklift is completely assembled, it goes through a final inspection. 100% of Toyota products are tested and inspected in order to guarantee the highest level of quality for Toyota forklift customers. Should a customer have an issue with a Toyota forklift, the local dealer addresses the problem immediately with the customer to ensure the forklift is up and running as quickly as possible. Then, the dealer files a warranty claim with the factory. The warranty claim process includes a thorough inspection of every faulty part after it has been sent back to the factory for analysis. If the defect is confirmed after the part has been analyzed, countermeasures are put in place at Toyota to ensure the same defect doesn't happen in the future. After a countermeasure has been developed, it becomes standard in order to reduce future warranty claims. Thanks to this process and the Toyota production system, Toyota customers can be confident they'll always receive a quality forklift. The Toyota production system results in a decrease or total elimination of waste, unnecessary components, and pollution. For Toyota customers, the Toyota production system means shorter lead times, cost savings, and the highest quality material handling equipment in the industry.
Okay. Hi everyone, and welcome to this recorded lecture for our risk management class. And I think after watching that opening video, you have an idea already kung anong firm ang pag-uusapan natin with regards to uh, the adaptation of risk management practices in firms. So obviously, I've chosen Toyota to be our focal point of discussion when it comes to application of so far the topics that we have discussed in the fundamentals of risk management. Okay. So, aside from Toyota, no, alam natin Toyota is one of the world's leading automobile manufacturing companies in the world. So, aside from cars, they also manufacture robots. They also manufacture as seen in the video, no, yung mga tinatawag natin mga forklifts. So aside from vehicles, they also have other ventures when it comes to uh, hindi lang transportation, ano? Kita nyo naman dun sa ating video, even forklifts, yung mga machineries. Okay, so moving on. The reason kung bakit ito yung napili ko is because they have this what we call the Toyota way of doing things. And it's side by side, no? Uh, they cannot do the Toyota way without their risk management and prevention mechanisms. But at the end of the day, what I would want to highlight in this discussion is how do they make sure that there is what we call the workplace safety. Okay? Kasi uh, ang nature ng Toyota is more on the manufacturing uh, side, no? Um, siguro kasi we can say that aside from the manufacturing industry is really expensive, it's uh, highly capitalized industry. We are also talking about the level of risk that employees face whenever they are inside these huge manufacturing facilities. So, tignan natin kung paano ina-apply ng Toyota yung kanyang risk management policies. Okay. So, first of all, merong tinatawag na Toyota Way or Toyota guiding principles when it comes to attaining sustainable development. So, tignan natin dito. Um, Let me just read it to you, know. They have this corporate culture that enhances individual creativity and teamwork value while honoring mutual trust and respect between labor and management. It only goes to show that walang ano hindi natin masabi na or we can confidently say that in Toyota whatever level you are in the management in their management, you are playing a co-equal role. Okay, what regardless if you are on the lower, middle, or upper part of the management, you are valued because your opinion matters, no? Your skill matters to the firm. uh, you play a vital role whether you are in the janitorial staff up to the supervisory positions. It seems that in Toyota, yun ang kanilang isa sa kanilang mga guiding principles. Everyone in the organization matters. And then, ito yung naka-highlight, ano, kasi ito naman kasi talaga yung pag-uusapan natin. We're going to talk about risk management. We're talking about how do they achieve 100% zero defects? How do they come up with quality, no? How do they come up with their risk management practices? So, ang naka-highlight dito, sabi niya, we strive to provide fair working conditions and to maintain safe and healthy working environment for all our employees. So, as you can see, no, walang nakasulat dito sa kanilang guiding principles that we should create the best and the most efficient vehicles in the world. No. So, ang sinasabi nila dito is for you to attain sustainable development in Toyota, you have to maintain the the satisfaction of your employees toward the organization. So, how do you do that? You have to make sure as part of the management, you have to maintain a safe and healthy working environment for all the employees. So, see, uh, kung titignan mo, it's really the smallest details that composes the bigger picture. So the bigger picture is to create the best and the most efficient vehicle in the world. And ang pillar nila of doing that is to make sure you maintain a safe and healthy working environment for all your employees. Ang galing, ano? It's because nandun sa pinakababa sila ang pinaka-grassroots. Okay? So the employees are the grassroots of quality in the firm. And then, wherever we do business, sabi niya, we actively promote and engage both individually and with partners in social contribution activities that help strengthen communities and contribute to the enrichment of society. All right. So much of this one kasi sa CSR na nila ito, ano. So let's proceed to our next slide. So the Toyota way, uh, as I've mentioned a while ago, ito yon, the Toyota way. The DNA of their global manufacturing environment is shown in these graphical presentations. So, when you say DNA, no, this is the smallest, ito yung pinaka-cell, right? So, ito yung pinagmumulan. This is the core, ultimate core of how uh, Toyota is able to deliver their, kumbaga, unified yung kanilang vision when it comes to their manufacturing practices. So it's actually broken down into two, which is yung continuous improvement and yung respect for people. Continuous improvement, respect for people. Wow. Grabe. What a DNA that is, no? So under continuous improvement, there is embracing challenges. Kasi sabi nga nila, pag wala ng challenge ang life, wala ng growth. And so challenge means growth. They continue to look for challenges that can gear towards more growth for the firm. And then Kaizen means continuous improvement in Japanese. Genbutsu means you have to look for solutions on the floor itself. So you have to uh, go see it yourself. So what Toyota promotes is, if you want to look for the problems, if you would like to look for improvements, you have to go see it yourself. Hindi pwedeng boss ka, supervisor ka, tumitingin ka lang sa CCTV. Kaya as you've seen doon sa video, the supervisors are really required to be on the floor with the workers because they believe in the principle of Genbutsu. You have to go see it yourself. And then respect for people is that, alam niyo yung mga Japanese people, they have high regards when it comes to respect for other people. During our class in comparative management, we were discussing about the Japanese management. And sa kanila, bawal ang reprimand. So when you say reprimand, bawal mong pagalitan ang empleyado mo when other employees are around. So kailangan pagalitan mo lang yung empleyado mo on closed doors na walang ibang makakita. So hindi ma-offend yung feeling niya at hindi siya ma-demoralize sa workplace. So ganun yung sinasabi nating respect. When you say respect, the communication is open, no? Walang distance between the managers and the employees. Kumbaga, walang patriarchy. Wala yung pa-VIP kasi in the workplace you're all teammates, and therefore there is mutual respect. Okay? And so when there is respect, there is a very natural teamwork that's going on the floor. Kasi ang importante naman when you are in the workplace, you have to be having fun, and at the same time you are learning, you are happily contributing to the organization because you believe that what you can do for the organization will matter and it will manifest through the outcomes, through the results of the operations. Okay, so this is the DNA of what we call the Toyota way, aside from the principles that we've mentioned kanina. Napakagaling. It's very simple, but it's I think these are the most important key factors in making sure that in a manufacturing industry, there would be sustainable development. No? There would be continuous improvement. So there is the safety philosophy of Toyota. So according to AG Toyoda, the godfather of Toyota, siya ang nagpasimula talaga ng Toyota Motors, ano? For him, there should be safe work, reliable work, skilled work. And according to him, safe work is the door to all work. So let us pass through this door. Alam niyo siguro dito sa Pilipinas, I'm sure nabalitaan niyo yung nangyari dyan sa Kapas during the pandemic, ano? Nangyari, nagkaroon ng outbreak of the virus dun sa isang factory because uh, siguro nagkaroon ng shortcuts, ano? There is no shortcuts to safety. Safety and quality is really expensive, but the damage that can result from the lack of safety and the lack of quality is priceless. Ibig sabihin, you can't put a price tag to the damage and integrity, the damage and trust from your clients and from your employees. So, if you do not begin your 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 principles of doing work at hindi mo inuuna yung safety ng lahat ng mga tao mo, it's gonna be uh, a mission, it's like a work that's waiting to fail. Okay, so for Mr. AJ Toyoda, safe work is the door to all the work. That's why ang total quality management, ang risk management, they come hand in hand because at the end of the day, what you promote is uh, a safe working environment for everyone, a safe community around the place where you establish your business. So, a happy community around you because they benefit from you. And so, when there is benefit from the community and your employee, now there is sustainable development in your firm. So, according to Toyota's basic safety principle, safety is management itself. It is everyone's responsibility from the top management to individual workers to place safety first. O, di ba? Ah, kasi when you start your work with doing things right, sabi nga sa isang Japanese principle, you have to do it right the first time. And so when you do everything right the first time, errors are minimized, no, damages are minimized, and quality is ensured from the moment the materials come inside your firm hanggang sa ma-process ito at maibenta sa mga sa mga partners mo, and then eventually it goes to your clients. Quality is all throughout consistently delivered. Okay? So I think I'm gonna skip this part right here. Let's go to their risk management system. So Toyota is actually describing its risk management system with an iceberg. Okay? So, nakasulat dito, no, injury reduction versus risk management. So, sa injury reduction is, they have this saying that there should be a zero recordable injury. So, we are talking of the main production plant itself. Big sabihin yung floor. It's the facility where all the production happens. Okay? So, uh, ang Toyota problem solving or the quality that we see from Toyota is the upper part of the iceberg. So this is kumbaga the metaphor here is as outsiders of the firm, we only see this part right here, but we don't see the bigger and the messier picture that there is down that glamorous mountain on the top. So, ang sinasabi, ang risk management practice ng Toyota revolves around this 1, 2, 3, 4. Itong apat na principles na to or pillars. So, they have what we call the safety eye, hazard identification, risk management, and then prevention. I think if you're familiar with IWS Tarlac, no? yung IWS Tarlac naka-engrave sa kanilang sa facility nila, sa mismong building nila. Even sa t-shirt nila, no, nakasulat yung salitang I love quality. Because the firm really wants to embed um, in their employees that quality and safety is really the first or the utmost priority of the firm. That everyone is responsible for safety, that everyone is responsible for quality. And so, regardless of how simple the work is, regardless of what the work assigned to you is, you have to continuously promote safety and quality. So, this is a good metaphor, no? An iceberg showing what is the kumbaga, what is the mess, no? Hindi mo nakikita yung mess sa loob, or you don't see the bigger challenge that there is before you produce this beautiful thing on the top. Okay? So I think it's a good how do you call this? Uh Basis, or a point of comparison. I think that's a better term. It's a good point of comparison of showing what risk management is all about. Okay. So, as I have mentioned a while ago, there is what we call Kaizen. Okay? Kaizen means continuous improvement. So, if you are very much knowledgeable on how to read this, these are actually the manufacturing process. Okay, the lean process of Toyota. Okay, so this is the production process or the production line where each process or each phase of the production process happens. So this is stage 1, stage 2, 3 and 4, and then stage 5. So as you can see, for each phase, there is what we call the feedback. Because the feedback doesn't only happen at ang feedback hindi lang nagmumula yan sa manager. The feedback happens at every stage. Okay? So, bawat empleyado, whether you are in the production design department, kahit ikaw pa yung nasa pinakamababang ranko, up to the design, to the engineers, your feedback matters. In fact, according to one of my students who was able to experience working in IWS, he told the class that, alam niyo ma'am, yung pag-ikot lang ng tape dun sa isang product, nakabilang yon. So therefore, yung tamang higpit, yung tamang bilang, yung tamang pag-ikot, no, tinitrain sila to do that. And even the time that will be consumed in finishing one product is also computed. So, ganun ka-mechanical or ganun ka-organized, ganun ka-strategic yung production process sa mga ganitong klase ng manufacturing assembly lines. Okay? So, as you can see also here, from the production design to the process design, where the production really begins, no? Nandito yung mga check. Everything is really for quality. Ibig sabihin, there is a safety officer who is in charge in making sure that no defects will be found in each of the stages of production for Toyota. It's because they really value quality, they value safety um, in their production and assembly lines. Okay? So aside from their production model design right here, no, this is for their production model. This is how they make sure that everything is monitored. There is feedback for Kaizen. There is quality check on each stages of the production. There is this blueprint as well for their safety and health management system. So this is where they monitor the safety and health concerns of their production process. So uh, this is an illustration on how they make sure that the job standard is implemented during the element training. So there is training, and then there's actual work, and then there's monitoring, and then from the monitoring, you would know whether the job standards were really applied from the actual work. And then from there, nagkakaroon siya ng work site analysis. And then from there, nagkakaroon sila nung parang kumbaga record or history ng kanilang problems na na-encounter. Kumbaga para siyang it's a bank, or it's a record system of everything that's happening in their work site. And from there, nagkakaroon ng feedback to their accident-free production design. So this one right here is the formulating body, and this is the actual work that's happening to make sure that nami-maintain yung safety and health ng mga employees. So these are just blueprints that they adopt in their company, ano. So all of these things are just guide. So kung titignan ninyo, hindi ko alam kung napansin ninyo, no, sa walls ng ating classroom sa college or sa ating building, there are like maps na nakapaskil sa ating mga dingding. So, hindi lang sila basta-basta nilagay doon. They are actually fire exit maps. Okay? And kapag ka walang kuryente, yung mga maps na yun are actually glow in the dark. Okay? So, they are really meant for high-risk situations in the building. So in case of emergency, you would know where to go. Kaya it's important that you also look into the 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 exit in case no mga fire exits. Alam nyo, whenever I go to hotels, yan ang una kong tinitignan aside from titignan ko kung okay yung CR. I-check ko kung merong fire exit map. So, in case of emergency, you know where to go. Okay? So, there is, sa design, there is a provision of safe-to-make products and process, and then sa mismong planta or sa mismong facility na honest observance to job standard for production. So, parang sa atin lang, ngayong we are experiencing pandemic, there are health protocols that are being set by the Department of Health. So it's up to us. How do we actually do the actual protocols? And from there, the DOH should measure or monitor if tayo ba ay sumusunod o hindi. And then from there, they have to make observation records if just to see if we are following the standard or the health protocol. So ganun lang naman kasimple. But it's important that the firm has a record of all of these things. Ano? Even sa atin sa TSU, we also have this process that we are implementing. Kaya nga tayo rin ay ISO certified when it comes to safe and health management system. Okay, aside from the design or the production model, we have the safety and health management system. It's so important that everyone in the firm knows their roles and responsibilities. Why is it so important that you know the roles and responsibilities of each member of the organization? The answer would be it's accountability. You know who is in charge, who should you be reporting whenever there is a problem that incurred. So kung hindi mo alam kung sino ang accountable or sinong responsible dun sa trabaho na yun, you wouldn't know who should be the one who should be reporting, troubleshooting for the problems or the challenges that will be incurred in the future. So aside from the roles and responsibilities, there are clear operating procedures. So kung mapapansin nyo, lahat ay nakasulat lahat ay illustrated. Lahat ng ito, alam nyo, nakapaskil at kasama to sa training na ginagawa sa Toyota simply because anything that is not written is not legal. Tandaan natin yan. Kahit sa business law subject ninyo, anything that is not written is not legal. Hindi pwedeng sinabi mo lang, kailangan nakasulat. Okay? So, kasama pala sa quality, no? Kasama pala sa risk management process is making sure, no, everything is clear, everything is written. Okay. And then, surprisingly, as you can see, the smallest detail, okay, ergonomic design. Ibig sabihin yung mismong pagpihit lang sa mga tornilyo, kung paano mo, ano ba tawag dito? How do you make sure, ito kung makikita ninyo, pati yung force, pati yung bigat na kailangan, ano yung mga materials na kailangan, they're all recorded. As you can see, meron pa mga codes, F1, F2, F3, these are all codes and these are what they call forces, no? Which is amazing. Kung titignan mo, these are just design guidelines. But they make a lot of sense. Kahit na yung maliliit na detalye, they make a lot of sense if they are being done uniformly, uniform yung pagkaka-execute ng mga bagay-bagay sa production process na i-eliminate yung chances of masisira yung mga gamit. Okay? So yung design guidelines is there to make sure that all workers are knowledgeable on how to use or how to execute the procedures in the production process. Okay. So these are just some examples nung kanilang mga ergonomic design requirements. Again, this is also for safety process. Aside from efficiency, it's for safety. It's for efficiency, safety, and prevention for future injuries. Okay, and then these are examples of let me just share with you guys. Alam nyo, my brother who just attended his flying school. He is set to become the pilot of the family. Nakwento niya sa akin, wala kang makikitang component ng eroplano na hindi useful. Each part of the airplane has a function to make sure that the plane is safe for the passengers to ride on. Okay? So same with what you're seeing right now on the screen. Each of these holes have a function for the safety of the vehicle. Okay? Ang galing, So akala mo, mga butas-butas lang yan. No. They have functions that they play for the entire functionality of the vehicle. I remember my brother told me, alam mo, ate, pagka merong isang maliit na butas or crack sa salamin ng eroplano, hindi na papayagang bumiyahe yung eroplano. They have to delay the flight or they have to cancel the flight of that plane just because of that small crack on the window. Grabe, Ganun pala ka busisi when it comes to safety. And then aside from that, this is what's good about Toyota. If you are very much loyal to the firm, you know na tatagal ka because ang priority ng firm is not just to train employees but to make progressive skill development of the employees. So as you can see, there is a training curriculum, there is a training matrix. Itong training curriculum is the entire picture of the training development program. So meron silang merong level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. O di ba? If you know what you're trying to achieve, nakikita mo, everything is written, everything is posted. You have an idea kung nasang level ka na, okay, I have to finish this class, I have to finish this class for me para ma-promote ako to level 3. Pero kasi dito sa Pilipinas, palakasan lang eh. Wala naman yan sa skills, palakasan lang. But no, in Japan, in first world countries, they value skills more than anything else. 'Di ba? They value loyalty. Kaya nga sa Japan, yung first job nila, usually yun na yung last job nila, dun na sila magre-retire. Because in Japan, they value loyalty to the firm. Because they really provide a good promotional scheme. Walang halong politika, walang halong politics. It's really about experience. It's really about skills. It's about undergoing the training curriculum at walang nami-miss, walang sumasablay. So dito sa training matrix, it's showing kung ano pa ba yung uh, hindi pa natatapos, no? Ano ba yung composition nung mga modules? So whether it be with the ergo team, the pilot team, the production engineer, the design engineer, safety personnel. So sino ba yung mga departments na kailangan mong attendan, no? Ilang oras. So napakagaling. And this is being done by of course, upper management na yung gumagawa nito, yung mga training curriculums and training matrix. Okay. And then, there is what we call the vehicle design process. So, kung paano ba yung proseso ng paggawa at pag-design ng isang sasakyan ng Toyota. Alam niyo, interestingly, alam niyo, speaking of design, napansin ko sa Toyota, sa bawat regions, like for example in Asia or in Europe, in the US, hindi pare-parehas yung design ng mga sasakyan na nilalabas nila. So it depends on the preference of the region. So kunwari dito sa Pilipinas, we are really more of a family-oriented tayo, kaya yung style ng mga van natin is hindi naman kailangang very much apart yung mga seat. Gusto kasi ng mga Pilipino siksikan. But if you go to other countries like Thailand, when I went to Thailand, yung mga luxury vans nila doon na Toyota, may kanya-kanyang seat. So parang may kanya-kanyang sofa inside the van. Unlike dito sa Pilipinas, okay lang tayo dun sa dikit-dikit sa loob ng van. So mas luxurious kasi I think there are really countries that value comfort more than yung practicality of the vehicle. Sa atin kasi dun tayo sa practical, mas maraming nasasakay the better. But for some countries, they value comfort while inside the vehicle. So anyway, nakwento ko lang speaking of design. So hindi pare-parehas kung mapapansin nyo. Actually, sa ibang bansa wala naman talagang Fortuner, di ba? Sa ibang bansa wala namang Innova. Dito sa Pilipinas, since yun nga, very family-oriented ang mga Pilipino, meron tayong Innova kasi mas mura yon as compared to the van. Pero mas malaki siya, spacious sa likod. It's really for weekends, family weekends. Okay, so anyway, so this is the sabi niya dito, no, feedback loop to the vehicle designers at earliest concept phase. So, nag-ano pa lang sila, nagko-conceptualize pa lang sila. They are already making sure that there is a feedback loop on kasi when we say feedback, ito yung tinatawag kasi natin na Kaizen, without the feedback, there is no chances for you to know which area should be improved. So it's very detailed. The blueprint of all of these phases are really very much detailed. So aside from that, meron pa silang ginagawang simulation, no? Ito na yung tinatawag nilang digital visualization. Before they do the actual production process, they simulate. They do this just so they know if reasonable yung trabaho probably na ginagawa ng mga empleyado. Is there any chance na magkaroon ng injury for the workers, because that's what they aim yung zero injuries, no? Kasama yun sa kanilang risk management process, zero injuries. And then they do modeling on the computer. So pinapakita anong itsura ng trabahador once they are already inside the production line. So simulation, modeling, um, pinapakita yung part by part, no, anong ginagawa sa may engine compartment, sa modular headliner. So these are all stages kasi of the production process. So they do all of this simulation and modeling. Okay, so these are all just samples pa lang, no? Pilot team utilization, and then of course they do meetings on the ground. Hindi sila nagmi-meeting sa opisina. Kung mapapansin nyo, nasa mismong uh, ano talaga sila, dun sa mismong ground or nasa floor. Okay? Right. So simultaneous engineering and vehicle conformation trials. So they make sure that before they proceed with the actual production, they do trials of how they do things. Okay? Ang galing, ano? Wala talagang shortcut. Ito yung sinasabi natin, you cannot make a shortcut to safety. You have to make sure that safety is not compromised, efficiency is not compromised, the possibility or the prevention of injuries is there, ano. And then they have what we call the problem registration and countermeasure tracking. Okay, so as you can see here in the picture, they are using a computer register. So sa computer na siya ginagawa, at sa computer na rin siya um, nire-report. Okay? So kung nakikita nyo, no, meron dito risk factor, the root cause, injury count, injury cost, and countermeasure. So ito parang yung ginawa nyo din, ano? You have to first identify yung cause ng risk, no? I mean the factor of the risk, ano yung pwedeng pagmulan or source, and then the root cause, paano siya nangyari, and even the so aside from describing the root cause, the injury count and the injury cost, as you can see here uh, on this illustration, makikita mo dito yung tinatawag nilang burden level. So if it's yellow, probably it means that it's just a medium impact or medium risk, and then red would signify high risk. Okay? So dito pa lang sa kanilang problem registration, nagkakaroon na ng means to have an idea of the problems that they are encountering on the ground. So prior to, I mean, these are already actual problems that are being encountered, so that immediate solution can be provided. You know, it's very, very much detailed. Kung makikita nyo, meron pa mga comments dito, even the date when it happened, no? Napakahusay, ang galing. And then there is what we call the visualization and executive OBEA or review. So this is an example of their completion chart, ano? Ito yung 100%, okay? So it only means that each of the members of the production process or the production line would know, itong mga to usually pinopost talaga sa mga walls ng planta, at nakikita ng lahat kung nasa na yung ano, yung milestone or yung level of accomplishment or production within a given period of time. Okay? So anyway, these are just kumbaga para tong accomplishment reports. Okay? So aside from the meeting that they do, okay? Again, these are just process confirmation. So these are just the results of ibig sabihin nito na yung mga parang accomplishment reports nila, no? Kung mapapansin nyo, talagang puro visualizations ang ginagawa sa Toyota. They believe that everything that you can see is more mas productive ka kasi. Even ako, pag nakikita ko yung mga kailangan kong gawin, I write them down. I make an accomplishment report for myself. Mas productive ako sa araw-araw. Okay? So ito, probably you would be very much familiar with this hazard identification and then risk assessment control measures. But this one is very organized. It's installed in a system. They already know the hazards that can happen within the production line. And then from there, meron na kaagad risk assessment. As you can see, meron silang mga codes dito which represents all of the risks that they were able to identify, and naka-categorize na rin whether the risks are minor, major, or can cause death. Okay? So just like the risk matrix that we did, no, meron na silang tinatawag na ano dito, kumbaga this one is a chart na mas madaling makita, no, kung saan, anong category ng risk yung very high, anong area. So these are areas, ano, so you would know kung alin ang mas kailangan mong pagtuunan ng pansin or kailangan i-prioritize when it comes to safety. Okay, so ito mga equipment, hazard, or risk to determine control. So these are control measures. I'm sure you're very much familiar with these three as of this moment. Okay, and then the Kanban check sheet or punch list. Okay, so sa Kanban naman kasi ito yung just-in-time procedure. So I will be inserting a video regarding Kanban for your enlightenment, para din mas makita ninyo gaano ka strategic ang production process ng Toyota. Okay, now that we have learned about Kanban, this is actually a machine risk assessment. But now we move to job hazard analysis. So just like with the usual risk management protocol, no, they do an assessment and then they identify the hazards and then make sure that there are control measures to prevent these identified hazards, whether they are transferable, if they can be avoided, or they can be controlled. And ang pinaka-importante naman sa Toyota is they have this what we call the broad engagement. Ito na yung sinasabi na you have to go see it yourself so that you can figure out the solutions to the problems, 'di ba? So, it's important for them to really be on the floor, maging hands-on sa production line, sa production process. Uh, and then they also have this process risk assessment. So on the production line itself, they make sure that there is a routine and non-routine risk assessment. And then, of course, there's troubleshooting, especially if it has something to do with the equipment, with the computers, and everything. Okay? So, dun sa kanilang process risk assessment, aside from the ergonomics, no, yung pinakita natin kanina, and then yung kanilang safety design, and even yung tinatawag nilang industrial hygiene. So, whenever they are inside the production line, they have to follow industrial hygiene hazards so that they can prevent injuries in the future. Okay? What else? I think this is the last, yung hierarchy of controls nila. So, sa kanila, yung controls ay hindi lang tatlo. So far, we've discussed three. The way they treat and control risks. It's avoiding, it's transferring and controlling. But for them, the traditional hierarchy of exposure control practices is given this one. Okay? There's elimination, substitution, modification, containment, ventilation, work practices, and personal protection. So as you can see, very talaga sila, very much particular sila when it comes to the use of proper uniform inside the production facility. Okay. And overall, no, kung makikita ninyo, yung Toyota Safety Management System is actually summarized in this blueprint. Okay, so there is the step 1, job identification. Step 2, grasp hazard. So this is the risk assessment. This is how they ito kasi is yung risk control, and then they monitor and measure. Okay, so very much detailed. Everything is very much visible on the eye of each employee of the firm. Okay, so kung makikita ninyo, there's this actual meetings that they do, the trainings, and then the simulation. All of this is part of their risk management. Napakaganda, no? At ang gumagawa ng mga to, alam nyo, it's the engineers. So, hindi lang tayo na mga business students ang may alam sa risk management. So, even industrial engineers, I think it's really the job of industrial engineers. Sila ang pinakamalapit na pinag-aaralan sa atin na may kinalaman sa management. Okay? So, they also have risk management in their course, and that's for sure. Okay, so ano pa ba? Monitoring controls. As I have said a while ago, lahat ng mga reports na pinakita natin when it comes to safety, quality, productivity, cost, and HRD, human resource development kasi ito, no, yung sa mga trainings and everything. Lahat ay nakapost sa kanilang mga bulletin boards because it's so important that everything that is being conducted in the training, in the job standard or the quality standard, lahat na i-implement on a day-to-day basis. So sabi niya, utilization of visual management, so this is called visual management, to identify and monitor control measures, risk reduction, and critical incidents. These are very, very important for Toyota. Okay? So, that's how you develop yung tinatawag nating critical eye for safety. So, they train supervisors on hazard recognition and engage team members in continuous shop floor improvement. So it's not just the job of the supervisors, it's the entire team members that also contribute to make sure that lahat ay nagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating critical eye for safety. So hindi lang managers, kundi lahat ng empleyado. So there is an activity cycle right here that is being showed. Um, Sabi niya dito, the way that the way they recognize hazards or safety on the workplace is nagsisimula yan dun sa tinatawag na mechanism for understanding, and then they categorize, they design a plan, and they draft or improve the guidelines, nagkakaroon ng training, and then may follow up. So, and then the cycle goes on and on hanggang sa maging natural na, kumbaga maging embedded or maging part na ng culture ng buong team or ng buong organization yung critical eye for safety. Okay? And I think this is the last slide, the Toyota corporate safety policy is summarized in the acronym CARES. Okay? So CARES means compliance. A is for accountability. R is for reporting, E is for excellence, and S is sustaining. Because at the end of the day, what Toyota aims for is towards sustainable development. And there cannot be sustainable development for Toyota if they do not prioritize safety in the entire process of their production. So that's it for Toyota's risk management practices. No, napaka-interesting. And it's a hard work. It's so hard to do. It's hard to sustain, and it's hard to monitor. But if it's embedded in the culture of the firm, I think safety and quality is not that hard to achieve. So it's an entire team effort to make sure that everyone is trained to have a critical eye for safety. So that's it for our lecture for this episode. I hope you were able to get a few realizations about how important risk management is, especially in the area of manufacturing.